Baby Shower is the fourth episode of the fifth season of The Office. This is directed by Greg Daniels, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. Fabulous, fabulous episode. Some really brilliant moments. Easily the most powerful and disturbing opening to any Office episode to date. There will be spoilers, of course, as I go through things chronologically. And it starts off with Dwight declaring his cervix is ripening. He's pretending he's about to give birth to the watermelon baby. Jim then tells us that the baby will be related to Michael only through delusion, talking about Jan's baby, of course. And then, well, Dwight's watermelon water breaks into the trash bin. And then Andy also starts to have Michael's baby, and it is absolute madness. And I don't know what was funnier, Dwight's performance or everybody else's facial expressions in response. And then Dwight births the buttered up watermelon, and then Michael eats it and declares that it'll be the happiest day of his life. They're then busy planning the baby shower, and they have some photos on a board to play the Guess the Baby game, where you have baby pictures and you have to guess whose baby picture it is. And if you Google it, there are actually some close-ups of those images, and it's really difficult. There are 2, maybe 3 where it's really obvious, and the rest I really, really struggled with. I really struggled to identify them, so definitely worth doing. And then, well, it became a little bit awkward because Jan came in with the baby. I am glad she's had the baby quite quickly. I don't know how long it's been since Michael found out, but I'm glad they didn't drag the pregnancy out too long and kind of get Michael's hopes up too much. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. And then Michael, the baby's called Astrid, and Michael holds Astrid up in her carrier and just shouts, "Lion King!" And he tries to Rafiki her over his head like Simba, which Jan obviously very quickly shuts down. And eventually Michael gets to hold her, and he doesn't feel a connection. And he goes to talk to the guys in the warehouse, and it's very clear that even though he's calling himself Astrid's father, he's not feeling the way he expected to. And it's a little upsetting because clearly Michael's put a lot of hope into this, into feeling like even though it's not his baby and he's not even in a relationship with Jan, he's somehow still the father. I wouldn't want to use the word myself, but as Jim said at the beginning, it is delusion. And I think when Michael held Astrid, he realised that actually that's probably true. And Jan, I've never liked Jan, but I really disliked her when she was leaving, and Michael walks her out, and Jan tells him, "Don't date Holly." The way Michael treated Holly in this episode was brilliant because he was just so mean to her because he, I guess, didn't want Jan to think he was interested in Holly. And I don't know if Jan saw through that. I kind of feel like she did, but it was good fun, and I think Holly understood what was going on. I don't think she took it to heart. And after Michael sees Jan out, he goes to see Holly, who asks, "Are you going to stop being mean to me now?" And Michael just hugs her. I thought he was going to kiss her, but in a way, the hug was more powerful. And afterwards, he tells us, and I quote, "I didn't feel much when I held Astrid, but I got a good feeling from Holly." I love that. I think that that's really beautiful, and maybe for once Michael's starting to listen to his feelings rather than rushing into things as he did with Astrid. I don't know if I ever believe he truly felt like Astrid would be his child, or if it was just wishful thinking. He wanted that family life. He wanted that son or daughter or whatever. Did he know it was going to be a girl? I can't remember if he knew it was going to be a girl, but he wanted that family. He wanted that child. Maybe he didn't feel like Astrid would be his, but he wanted that to be the case. So I thought that was a really interesting moment. And then we end with Pam and Jim on the phone to each other, but they're phoning each other at the same time, so they're leaving answer machine messages, and they're talking about how they miss each other and they're not in sync. And honestly, Pam and Jim's story is a little bit boring at the moment. But to be fair, the last 4 seasons have basically been the Pam and Jim show. Will they, won't they? So it's okay that their relationship has kind of calmed down a little bit for now. And we'll see what happens there. But this is a really brilliant episode. I thought Baby Shower was an absolute delight. And I'm really glad as well because the first 2 episodes of season 5 were not very good. Business Ethics was okay. But I thought that Baby Shower was definitely very funny. The strongest opening to any episode so far. Love the little Guess the Baby game. Absolutely worth Googling if you want to play it, and let me know how you do. As I said, I feel like definitely two of them I knew straight away. A third one I was kind of on the fence with, but it's difficult. It's really difficult, but a lot of fun. Solid episode. Really looking forward to the next one.